Hey everybody, what's up? What's going on? I hope you guys are having a good day. What's happening? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to come in today very, very quickly to have a quick conversation about the lawsuit between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. You guys know I'm a big fan of hip hop. I'm a bigger fan of Black people. So when something happens that involves Black people, Black culture, and or Black finances, I'm always sort of paying attention, just kind of looking at it to kind of think about it. Because one things I can tell you guys is, you know, my background, I'm a finance professor. And the thing is that there's no better classroom than the real world. And so hip hop, given that it's one of the greatest cultural influences on the planet when it comes to Black people, especially, I found this lawsuit between Drake and Kendrick Lamar to be very interesting. I thought that the whole beef was very interesting. I know a lot of rappers, D1, D1 Willie D, Ice Cube, Kanye West. I know a lot of rappers, and I really kind of think that there's some things about hip hop culture that Black people need to discuss, but y'all ain't ready for that conversation yet, so we'll have it later. Now, with that being said, I know some of you may not be up to speed, so give me a yes in the chat if you are keeping up with the back and forth with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Give me a yes if you've seen any of this. Give me a yes in the chat if you have noticed this sort of conflict that's been happening where basically Kendrick Lamar dropped probably one of the best diss songs of all time. It's right up there with No Vaseline, The Ether, right up there with Hit 'Em Up by Tupac, which ended in the death of Tupac Shakur, which to me means Hit It Up, in my opinion, was a little bit overboard. I don't know if it makes sense to start a song off by saying, you call yourself a player, but I effed your wife. I don't know if that's necessarily constructive dialogue. I think that when the Black community lost Tupac Shakur, I need y'all to understand that you got a lot of entertainment, but you lost a multi-billion-dollar opportunity, because Tupac, if he were alive, would be a multi-billion-dollar asset, billion with a B, to the Black community. If Biggie were alive, he'd be a multi-billion-dollar asset to the Black community. If Suge Knight was not in prison and Death Row Records had maintained its financial strength due to good business practices, Death Row Records would be a multi-billion-dollar asset to the Black community. So I want y'all to understand this, that the word poor stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly, passing over opportunities repeatedly. So a lot of times when you look around and you say, dang, we poor, we don't got no money, well, then you need to realize how many times you've passed over opportunities repeatedly to have wealth. And because we focus on the entertainment and we're not focused on the long-term play. We're not looking at the long-term vision. We're looking at the short-term excitement of watching two Black men take each other out in the street. So I'm just going to say this straight up, point blank, period. I have a lot of friends around the country. I got a lot of friends on the West Coast. I have a lot of respect for the culture and everything else, of course. But at the same time, I did not even like the way the beef kind of went left. I felt like it was the song "Not Like Us," which is a brilliant song, amazing song. Kendrick Lamar is an amazing artist. Love Kendrick Lamar. I didn't enjoy watching the whole world celebrate by dancing on a man's grave. I just didn't. The energy wasn't quite right. I talked to some other friends I know who are rappers. They felt like the energy wasn't right. But sometimes if the world's going in one direction, you just kind of stand to the side and let it all happen. But the reality was I did not feel comfortable just sort of pushing that to the limit, especially given when I heard that line, certified pedophile. I thought about the fact that that being falsely accused of pedophilia is probably one of the worst things you could do on earth to a Black man. You're sentencing, if he goes to jail, he will get sexually assaulted multiple times. And I don't necessarily know if that's funny. I don't know if that should be people's entertainment. But then again, hey, you know what? I'm a contrarian. And some people think that maybe I'm a little too serious. But honestly, I think that accusations like that are pretty heavy. Well, here's the other part of it that a lot of us don't understand. So when Kendrick Lamar, who clearly won this beef on the stage, in terms of who made the best record, Kendrick won that battle. But there's a bigger battle that appears to be happening where Drake filed a lawsuit, and I knew that there would be a law. Well, how about this? I didn't know that there would be a lawsuit, but I knew that there should be a lawsuit at some point. I was very surprised when there wasn't a lawsuit immediately filed, but it looked like they were kind of working behind the scenes to make this happen. Well, apparently the rapper Drake has sued Universal Music Group. I don't think he sued Kendrick Lamar directly. I looked at the lawsuit. I did not see any mention of him suing Kendrick. Drake did not say. He said, look, I'm not suing you. I want to sue the people that own you. Because remember, rappers don't really own a whole lot. Rappers are controlled by the people that actually fund and finance hip hop. This is where I step in as a finance professor, because in my view, when you see some things happening, the question is, did you follow the money? When you see rappers doing something crazy or saying something crazy on records, did you follow the money? When you see culture going left and you see people manipulating and exploiting Black people for economic gain, you have to follow the money. And the thing is that I don't think we follow the money because we're so busy being entertained, but I follow the money. So in my view, it's not so much about what Kendrick did or did not do. The question is, who is the one that's financing this? Who's putting the money behind the most important element of the beef, which is not the music. Making a song is not necessarily the hardest part of making a record popular. I know lots of artists, some of which you'll never hear about because they don't have the most important part of the process in place, which is distribution. Distribution. Do y'all know what distribution is? Give me a yes if you know what distribution is. Distribution is everything. Before Tyler Perry had distribution, y'all did not know who Tyler Perry was. Distribution is what Massa controls. That's what the Jewish community controls. That's what other people control. Black people don't control distribution. We know how to make the music. We make the product. We produce the product, and we've always been producing the product. We produced hip hop. We created hip hop. We created hip hop in the South Bronx. It's one of the most beautiful art forms in the history of mankind. That was ours. We did that. But then when folks came along with billions of dollars in the bank and they started doing distribution, that's when hip hop turned into the $1 trillion industry that it is right now. Do you understand? So here's the thing with Drake and his lawsuit, where my mind immediately went with the fact that he's suing Universal Music Group is that it's like basically he said, I'm not really suing Kendrick because, yeah, he won the rap beef. He had a great song. The question is, how did this song become the most popular song in America? How is it that this song was listened to almost 1 billion times? Well, it's distribution. If the people responsible for the distribution, meaning Universal Music Group, partnered with Spotify, the multi-billion-dollar company. I'm a stockholder in Spotify, so I understand Spotify. If Spotify and Universal Music Group did not participate in the distribution of the song, then y'all would not be, playing Not Like Us on repeat. You wouldn't. You wouldn't be, they not like us. They not. You would have never. If they wanted to squash the song, they could have squashed it, right? And I'm not saying they should have squashed it or shouldn't have squashed it. I'm not interested in debating over who's better. If you want my personal opinion, I think Kendrick killed Drake. I like Kendrick better than Drake, actually. I never liked Drake, to be honest with you. Drake never did anything for me because I'm not in his demographic. He's certified lover boy. I don't look for men who are certified lover boys. That's for the ladies. So it's fine. He could be a certified lover boy. Kendrick is more my guy because I'm a big hip hop fan. I've been a hip hop fan since the beginning of hip hop. I've always loved hip hop. Now, with that said, though, if you go to the next level, let's graduate and talk about the business side. Let's level up and talk about the economics. Okay. So here's what I'm seeing here. So Universal Music Group, apparently, according to this lawsuit with Drake, or Drake's lawsuit against Universal Music Group, they are being accused of a couple of things that seem to almost line up with RICO charges, almost like organized crime in a way. And let me tell you, the two most disturbing parts of the lawsuit that I saw that were really interesting was one, Drake claims that that Universal Music Group, that they have a whistleblower who basically said that a lot of those listens, a lot of those views on the song were fake. That basically the video appeared, because I remember seeing when the song came out, and literally within hours, the song had millions of views. I said, man, that's insanity. I mean, can you imagine if we were to, if 10 million Black people were to study Black economics within 10 hours, if Dr. Claude Anderson could do a Powernomics video and show us how to get our economics together, and the video gets 10 million views in 10 hours, that would be amazing, right? We'd be leading the world in economics, but instead we lead the world in entertainment. So ultimately, this song had millions of views within a few hours. Well, apparently in this lawsuit, Drake is claiming that there's a whistleblower inside UMG, Universal Music Group, who use bots. They use fake AI to make it appear that there was a lot of viewership when really the viewership was not quite as high as it was. Why does that work? Well, because all the research studies show two things about Black people especially, is that we love our entertainers. That's the first thing. Second thing it shows is that we tend to follow the crowd. So they call that social proof. So generally speaking, Drake is saying that this song became popular because people thought it was popular. that it became that they believed it was popular before it was popular, but they made it popular because they thought it was popular. Does that make sense? And the same, and this is true. This is on my dissertation committee. There's a guy named David Hirschleifer, and he wrote about the stock market and how there's something called a herding effect. Herding effect basically says most people are sheep. Most people follow the crowd. Most people don't know what they want. They look what everybody else wants. Most people don't know what to do next. They just look to see what everybody else is doing. So they just do what everybody else is doing. That's where half of these retarded TikTok dances come from, because y'all know that stuff is goofy as hell. But I don't do it. I don't do the goofy stuff. But some people do, because they say, well, the world's gotten goofy, so I'm going to follow the goofy stuff. The Chinese, I believe the Chinese use that against us, actually. I think that they actually operate like, kind of a covert fashion to manipulate our youth by getting us doing goofy stuff instead of doing like nerdy stuff like studying math and science and preparing for the future, right? So anyway, with that being said, that's one of the first allegations that Drake made, which would be significant because it would not just expose the underbelly of the music industry and show you that a lot of this stuff is fake, but then also there's financial consequences for that. Like, wait a minute, hold on. You mean YouTube paid for video views that weren't real and Universal Music Group was behind that? That's pretty heavy. That's a big deal. Second piece to this, so the second part of the allegation in the lawsuit that was interesting to me is that Drake claims that Universal Music Group made a special deal with Spotify. Well, if you don't know how Spotify ends up ripping off all the artists, because they take all the damn money, is they don't partner with the artists on the money from the streams. They partner with the labels, right? They don't go to the slaves. They go to the slave masters. So they go to the slave master and they say, hey, we got this song. It's really hot. We'll give you 30% of the revenue or whatever. They give them a reasonable percentage, not some doo-doo change that they give the artist. And basically the lawsuit claims that Universal Music Group made a special deal with Spotify to cut the commission. They basically say, look, we want this song to go big, so we're willing to give up some of our commission to incentivize you to push it even further, to suggest it even more, to market it more, to distribute. There's that word again, distribution. That's the most important word in the whole entertainment industry. We want to compensate you for distributing this song at a much higher level. So what that means is Spotify then says, okay, great. We've got this song that people seem to like, so we're really going to push the hell out of this thing. Now, apparently, I'm guessing maybe Drake feels that this was the record label's goal of replacing him with Kendrick or pushing him to the side so that Kendrick could be more popular. So I think he takes it kind of personal, or it could have been something very innocent. Maybe UMG just said, hey, look, this song is blowing up. We want to all make money. So we're willing to forego some of our commission in order to help our hit become a bigger hit. Nobody knows that part, but that's kind of what the lawsuits talking about. And that also would be interesting. And I'm not sure, I'm not a lawyer, but I'd wonder how much that fits under the category of racketeering, RICO, organized crime, some of this sort of, or not maybe antitrust violation kind of thing, like, okay, we're going to get together, we're going to collude, right? Anytime you have that type of collusion in business and it's at that level, it's kind of a big deal, right? So anyway, now there's a couple more things I want to mention about this Kendrick Lamar thing in this Drake lawsuit. But before I do that, could you do me a favor? Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I also should mention that I have a podcast on Spotify. It's called the Dr. Boyce Breakdown. So if you want to hear some of my content on Spotify, you can just look up my name. You'll find the Dr. Boyce Breakdown, and you'll also find Dr. Boyce Daily Stock Market, where I break down what's going on in the stock market on a daily basis. So if you're interested in stocks, which I think everybody should be, I don't care about their money. I want you to have money. That's my thing. So if you want to follow that, feel free to go to Spotify. Just look up my name. Also, because it's Black Friday, if you go to drboycebooks.com, we have financial flashcards for kids, workbooks for your kids to learn wealth. Wealth and economics is very important to me. And everything today until midnight tonight is 50% off. So that means anything that you see in that store that you want to buy today at drboycebooks.com is 50% off. My book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, is there. Dr. Claude Anderson's books are there. We have a lot of stuff there. So feel free to go to drboycebooks.com if you want to go check that out. And that's for today, only 50% off every single thing in the store. All right. So anyway, let's move back. So we're talking about the Drake-Kendrick Lamar thing. I'm not going to speak too long because I'm about to meet my students in a second. We're going to do stock options today. So here is the thing that I also want you to understand about this lawsuit where Drake is suing Universal Music Group over this Kendrick Lamar beef. Now, for a lot of us that are hip hop enthusiasts, it may seem like he's going out of bounds, that this is not appropriate. Rap beefs don't typically get settled in the court of law, and I tend to agree. I kind of think that you did kind of lose fair and square, but at the same time, I felt like Kendrick went out of bounds a little bit when he made that allegation of basically implying that he was a sex offender, and I think that's actually included in the lawsuit too. Not so much blaming Kendrick, but really blaming the label that allowed the music to even get out to the masses in the first place. If you remember, there was that line, certified pedophile, right? And again, I think that if somebody's a pedophile, they deserve to be called out. But if they're not doing that, I hope that you will at least hear me when I say that I wonder if we think it's appropriate to falsely accuse a black man, or maybe he's half black, whatever Drake is. Maybe he's in the Kamala Harris category. I have no idea. Y'all can judge that. But just to accuse anybody of something that's serious and not have solid proof of that, I think is pretty heavy. And I think also at the same time, it opens a lot of people up to liability. When you have this song, and the song was viewed, I think on Spotify, it was listened to, it got like 1 billion streams or something. And that didn't include all the other platforms. And so that to tell 1 billion people that a man is a pedophile when he's not, or if you can't prove it, is kind of iffy. That's kind of a problem, right? So, and I think that's mentioned in the lawsuit, and I think Universal Music Group might face a liability because of that. The other thing too, I want y'all to think about as black people is I want y'all to pay attention and notice how often corporations monetize black self-destruction. Has anybody else noticed that? Has anybody else noticed how they just make so much money while we sitting there killing each other, taking each other out, and they sit back just rubbing their hands like Birdman, getting paid? They like, well, if this Negro dies, we get paid. If that Negro dies, we get paid. And I want you to think about this just in terms of hip hop culture and what it's become. It wasn't intended to be this way. When the founders of hip hop created it, they weren't saying we want to create a vehicle and a tool for black self-destruction. They didn't plan to do that. But yet you got people that I guarantee you that every single rapper that dies, somebody gets paid because of that. King Von dies, somebody got paid. Tupac died, somebody got paid. All right. Biggie died, somebody got paid. Every time an artist goes down, somebody makes money. Because there's life insurance, or maybe like Universal, maybe if you own both artists and one of them takes the other one out, then guess what? It's giving you the most valuable, one of the most valuable commodities out there, which is attention, right? Nothing sells better than beef. And what's interesting is for black people, for everyone else, the beef is entertainment, but for the black community, the beef can become very real. Tupac and Biggie, that was real for our people. We really lost real people, real black people died from that. PNB Rock, I think that was his name, when he died out in California. One of my friends is a young guy, a mentor. He's a young artist. He was buddies with PNB Rock. They were rising, their careers were rising together. And I had to have a long conversation with him and I just said to him, I said, are you sure you even want to be in this industry? I said, because the devil tricks you sometimes. It makes you think that something is a prize when really it's a curse. So you have a dream to be in this industry. You have a dream to be on stage. You have a dream to make all this money. But I can tell you, as somebody who knows a lot of rappers, who's been around for a little bit, that this dream is really a nightmare for a lot of people. And I said, are you sure you want to go in this industry? And I think he might have pivoted a little bit because of that. I said, if I was you, I would never go in this damn industry. There's a million ways for black men to make money. You ain't got to be on stage calling yourself the N-word in every other sentence in order to make a couple dollars. I don't think that is the only, nor is it the best way for us to benefit financially. I don't think hip hop has been a net win for the black community. It's been very entertaining, a lot of fun, but you show me the results. You show me some industries that's come out of hip hop for black people. You show me where we built an automobile manufacturing plant. You show me where we built black owned hospitals. You show me where the Marcy projects, where Jay-Z came from, has experienced an economic boom because of his success. You can't. You really can't. All you can show me is a lot of chaos, a lot of shenanigans. But you can show me where other people are making money. They love to make money from us. So black death and black self-destruction is a high value commodity to the people that don't have to deal with the after effects. That's the first thing I want to say. Last thing I want to say on this is I think that and this is where I would challenge Kendrick, who I like Kendrick more than Drake. I love his music. I love what he stands for. I get what he's trying to say. But I listened to this song this morning with my wife, and I counted the number of times the N-word was used in this song. And I said to my wife, I said, I wonder if we should be disturbed about the fact that there's a song that's been heard over 1 billion times where the word "igga" is used 13 times in the song. I think it was about 13, maybe it was 14, maybe it was 12. I don't know. I'm not criticizing it. I get it. I know about the nuances and all that. I get all that. I'm black. I'm black just like you. But I really kind of wonder about the brand of the black man. Brands have economic value, and you got to really ask yourself, what is the brand of the black male around the world? And when we get on stage holding our nuts, calling each other iggas and destroying each other in public, what impression are we giving the world of who we are and what we represent? Do you understand? Can y'all at least hear what I'm saying? I know some of y'all disagree, and you have a right to disagree. I'm not telling you to agree with me. I'm telling you to hear me. That's all I want you to do. Give me a yes if you can just hear me. You ain't got to agree with me. But I really think about this because I said, isn't it interesting that we can have a song where in the whole song is igga, 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 igga. And then the minute some well-intended white boy who's a fan, not a hater, not a racist, not a gun-toting Trump supporter, but some white boy, who doesn't know any better, is listening to the song and he's just reciting the words from the damn song that you made, and then we want to get offended. We want to be like, well, no, you can't say the N-word. What's wrong with you? You done said the N-word. But he's like, I didn't know. I just called you what you call yourself. I wasn't even trying to be me. I'm trying to be cool, y'all. I'm a wigger. I'm a cool white guy. I'm just trying to be friendly, bro. No, you're a racist. But you just said it 47 times in reference to yourself, your mama, your homeboy, your friends. And I can't even recite the same song that you. Again, I get it. I know that there's a debate. But I'm going to tell you, black people, in my opinion, in order for us to really be seen in the world the way we want to be seen, we might have to grow up and confront the contradiction. It is a massive contradiction for us to call ourselves something every other day of the damn week and then get mad when somebody else is repeating what we just said. That's all I got to say. I have nothing else to say. I got to go. I'm sure I've upset a lot of people by saying this, but for those who understand where I'm coming from, I hope you will at least hear some part of what I'm saying. The song was good. Kendrick is great. I love it. Super Bowl, good for you. Better to see him in the Super Bowl than Lil Wayne anyway. Lil Wayne, I like him, but come on. Kendrick, that's my guy. I like Kendrick. But I don't think we have to just by default call ourselves the N-word. I think that with all of our talent and creative expression, maybe we can find a new word. I don't know. Because a song, 1 billion listens, so 1 billion people are like, oh, so they like to call themselves iggas. So I guess that must be what they are. The reality is it's just like a relationship, man. You got to teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you. So if I walk up and I say, I ain't shit, I ain't shit, I ain't shit, and I say it over and over again, then you're going to turn around and be like, oh, well, you ain't shit. I can't turn around and be, how dare you say that? But you said it about yourself. How are you getting mad at me for repeating what you just said about you? I'm just following your lead. Come on, man. We got to be honest with ourselves. We can't keep living as children. That's not what we are. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. I'm about to go. We're doing stock options in a minute, so I have to run. But God bless you. Have a great day. Feel free to leave your comments. Let me know what you think. I respect every opinion up in here. Differences of opinion do not offend me. This is a space for free-thinking people. So that's what I love, and you don't have to agree. I know, in fact, at some point I'm gonna say something you won't agree with, and that's okay too. All right. So anyway, guys, if you want to take advantage of the discount in the store, you can go to drboycebooks.com. That's our Black Wealth Mastery store. We are obsessed with Black wealth and Black economics. That's what my PhD's in. I was a finance professor at Syracuse for many years, in case you're new, and I believe that once we get our economics right, then it'll be much more difficult for others to manipulate us. When we own institutions it's harder for institutions to control us, tell us what to do, and to exploit us. So let's keep growing, let's keep building, and God bless you guys. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.